well sit down. There's plenty of room on the bench.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much. It's just, I don't mind standing. It's only going to be for a minute or two.
You're not expecting to be a woman, then?
Well, I guess as a matter of fact, I am.
Oh, you're an optimist. I merely remarked that you're an optimist.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No, but you will later on when 1 or 2 minutes has turned into 1 or 2 hours. I see you don't know very much about the feminine sex.
Perhaps not. On the other hand, it strikes me that your remarks are rather personal.
Well, the only remarks worth making are personal. However, if you prefer talking about the weather,
it's already 5 minutes past. You're quite right. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm thinking of something else.
So I perceive. She's already 5 minutes late.
How did you know that?
Experience. Experience. Romance is like history. It repeats itself. Besides, I'm in the same boat with you. My appointment was for 5 minutes ago as well. The only difference, however, is that I'm not worrying about it. Well, you are.
I think I will sit down, if you don't mind. It's just a devil of a bore standing first on one foot and then the other.
Have a cigar?
Oh, no, thanks. I'm quite all right.
Pretty flowers, carnations, aren't they? Wonderful fragrance they have, too. I'm very fond of them. And I see that your taste runs in the same direction.
Yes, indeed. It's a very fine flower. It's just... Look, I hope you won't think me silly, but as a matter of fact, if it doesn't make any difference to you, would you mind keeping your carnation out of sight for a while? Just until... Well, just to be a good sport. If you would hide it for a few minutes, I'd be very grateful.
Now, I'd like nothing better than to do you a favor, Mr.
Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. That's strange. Very strange.
What is strange? The name of Smith?
Yes. Strange that you should have it. That's my name, too.
Your name is Smith, too?
Yes.
Well, there are a lot of us in the world, a lot of us Smiths, I mean, so there's no reason why...
Of course, only I was thinking about the carnation. I may be mistaken, of course, but 2 Smiths meeting in the same spot, the same hour, both wearing red carnations. I have to confess, it's a bit odd.
By Jove, so it is. Well, look, I wish you could move to another spot or take that flower out of your lapel. It isn't absolutely necessary for you to wear it, is it?
But it is! Absolutely! And you're going to cause me all sorts of trouble if you don't move, or change your name, or at least throw away your carnation.
I shall do nothing of the kind. I can't, my lord, man. She doesn't know me. That is, she doesn't know what I look like. That's why she asked me to wear a red carnation.
That's exactly my predicament. And honestly, doesn't know me besides. She asked me to wear the red carnation. So you see, I can't help you out. After all, man has to look to his own affairs first.
What a beastly coincidence. Well, it may not matter, though, right? I mean, one of them will arrive before the other does. And if you recognize her as your friend, you can speak up at once and get on out of the way. If mine should arrive first, I'll do the same.
You know your friend when you see her, do you?
Like, yes, in a way. That is her eyes. I would know her eyes anyway.
Her eyes? Good heavens.
And you must understand that when a woman is in costume and wears a mask.
In costume and masked?
Well, certainly. Why not? I met her at a masked ball. There's nothing unusual about this.
This is uncanny. Uncanny. Tell me one thing. What kind of costume did she wear?
She was dressed as the Queen of Sheep.
My gosh!
What's the matter?
I mean, I won't believe it. It's impossible.
What is impossible?
Nothing is impossible. Why I know that? Is she your...
I think so. It's just... I couldn't see her eyes.
I'm certain she's my friend.
What? You are?
It's the way she holds her head.
I'm quite sure I recognize her as my friend. It's just if I could get a glimpse of her eyes, a proper one, I'd be sure.
Well, the only thing still the matter is I seem to call her by name. And I suggest you try first.
I can't. I don't know her name.
You don't know the name of the woman you were to meet here.
She wouldn't tell me what her name was. Look, you'll have to see if she belongs to you.
I confess, this grows more and more unbelievable, but the truth of the matter is, I don't know the name of the one I was to meet.
Good heavens, this is awful.
Yes.
Look here, we can't sit around all day debating the question. I mean, one of us has to go ahead and break the ice. And then if he makes a mistake, he can retire and give the right one a chance.
That's a very good solution. You having suggested it should have the privilege of trying it first. I will wait here where I can keep an eye on you, though. Good luck to you.
All right. I'm going. He's trying to say to her.
Ask her if you're the man she expected to meet here.
But what if she doesn't know?
What?
She might not know whether I'm the one.
That's her worry, not yours. You at least give her a chance to claim you.
Should I make a mistake?
Oh, Lord, you go.
I'm going. Don't leave until I found out, won't you?
Oh, no, of course not. Well, go on.
Yeah, I'm going. How do you do? I beg your pardon, but, what I mean to say is I was expecting to meet someone. And I was wondering.
Yes, I noticed you were wondering.
I suppose you think I'm an idiot. I mean, with both of us here at the same place, at the same time, both wearing red carnations?
Yes, I observed that both of you are wearing red carnations. I think they're quite becoming.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks very much. It's just, well, that's not exactly the point.
No, I suppose it isn't.
It's awfully difficult to explain.
Yes, isn't it?
Of course, well, if you are the one, that is, the one I was to meet, then perhaps you'll understand. Do you?
No, I don't think I do.
Then I suppose you aren't the one.
The one what?
Oh, the one I was to meet. Are you?
Well, I'm sure I don't know.
Oh, well, then you were to meet someone.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that helps some. It's, would you know him if you were to see him?
I'm afraid not. That is why I've asked him to wear a red carnation.
That much is settled, of course, you see. He is wearing a red carnation, too.
Yes, that does make it rather complicated now, doesn't it?
So, you see, we'll have to think of some other way to identify.
Identify which? You or him?
Me. Well, no. Not necessarily. Either one. The one you were intending to meet.
That's it. You must identify the one I was intending to meet.
Can't you think of some way?
I don't know. Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of it before? I can ask you your name.
Splendid. Go ahead, ask me.
Well then, is your name Smith?
Yes!
So is mine.
Yes. You see, that's another trouble.
What? Is his name Smith too? Good heavens.
Exactly. No, if his name wasn't Smith, there wouldn't be any difficulty at all.
But how do you know you aren't the one to blame?
Exactly why I'm warning wasn't Smith, there'd be no trouble whatsoever. I insist you share the blame, at least.
It's all the question of who is the original Smith.
Well, what do you mean by the original Smith?
Ah, well, from the standpoint of time, I certainly would be considered the original Smith. I carried the name long before you were born.
No, ridiculous. I mean, what has that got to do with it? The original Smith in this instance is the one who had the appointment with Miss... I beg your pardon, but you never told me your name.
No, I didn't, did I? It seems a bit odd, but as a matter of fact, I'm not sure I ever told you anything. Perhaps it was him that I talked with.
Where? When?
At the masked ball Friday night.
Why, of course I'm the one you talked with.
You. You're there too. This is unbearable.
Why shouldn't he have been there? He had as much right to be there as you had.
Certainly, why should one Smith have preference over another?
No, don't add it a minute. Look here, you've got to settle this one way or the other. I refuse to stand here all day being made a fool of.
If you feel that way, you should leave.
You can clear things up considerably. Shit. I don't think you can get rid of me as easily as that. And besides, I think there's some way for you to solve this problem. If you walked with one of us last Friday at the match ball, there must be something that could tell you which of us it was. I mean, we're nothing alike. Look at him. How could you mistake him for me?
You forget that you were both in costume and wore masks.
Oh, quite true. Costumes and masks make a very complete disguise.
But costumes and masks aren't all alike. I was dressed as a sheep.
So was I.
No, you weren't. This is too much. I tell you what. No, I don't believe it.
There's nothing remarkable about going to a fancy dress ball in a sheep's costume. As far as I know, no one has a patent on that idea.
Now that you mention it, I distinctly remember noticing more than one sheep at the ball.
Well, I suppose you talked to every sheep you saw.
Well, now that I can be sure, it would be very easy to mistake one sheep for another.
Told them all the same thing, I suppose.
What do you mean?
Well, you invited every sheep you talked with, apparently, to meet you here at this corner of the park at 4 o'clock today and to wear a red carnation in his coat lapel.
I didn't know such thing. The idea. He was the one who asked me to meet him.
Certainly. I asked her to meet me here today. But so did I!
You are both sure you asked me?
Positive sure.
But how can you be? How do you know one of you didn't ask some other girl?
Weren't you dressed as the Queen of Sheba?
Yes, that's
Yeah, of
right.
course she was. How she caught my eye.
Damnation. I can't stand this. How do you know that there wasn't another Queen of Sheba at the ball?
Perhaps there was. The point, however, is there's only one Queen of Sheba here.
You think that this is the Queen of Sheba that you talked with and that you invited to the park at 4 o'clock today?
Your mind grows clear every minute. Did you know that?
You told her that you would wear a red carnation in your coat lapel.
Yes, that's my customary method of identifying myself. What sort of person are you?
Okay, I know that this is the Queen of Sheba that I talked with. I can tell by her eyes. I would know those eyes anywhere. And it means she's made fools of us both. For I certainly made the same proposals to her that you did, and she certainly accepted them.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you two were the same man.
She thought we were the same man.
Well, the compliment was mutual at any rate.
Did you think we stuttered that we should say the same thing twice?
I thought you were a little absent-minded, perhaps.
Very tactful of you to put it so mildly.
You must realize how sorry I am with the excitement of dancing and the music and everything. Well, I am sorry.
You realize that.
Of course.
And you can see how easy it would be to make a mistake when both of you were named Smith and were dressed like sheiks and were partial to red carnations.
Naturally.
I suppose the question now is what to do about it.
It is a rather embarrassing situation.
There's only one way to settle it. She must choose between us.
We might flip coins to see which of us stays.
No, I refuse to treat the matter in such a trivial way. If I leave, it will be at the request of the lady.
Well, that relieves us of the responsibility. What does the lady say?
Oh dear! I suppose I'm caught now. But what shall I do? Both of you are so attractive and so very honorable about it. I've never met two more charming men. If I were to ask you to leave, would you go?
Yes, I would stick to my word. But I will find you again sometime.
But how could you? You don't know my name or where I live or anything about me. And next time I go to a mass ball, I might not dress as the Queen of Sheba.
Well, never mind, I'll find you. And when I do, I will make sure that there are no other Smiths around to interfere.
Unkind remark.
There would be another Smith around. There always is when I'm present. You see, Smith is my name too.
No, it can't be.
But it is. That's why I remembered your name so easily. And yours. You see, one can always remember one's own name, even when it's attached to a stranger's.
No, what? I quit. I'm through. I've been wasting my afternoon with a pair of lunatics. Goodbye, Mr. Smith and Miss Smith.
No, please don't go. Please, you mustn't desert us.
Goodbye.
Father, stop him, please.
What was that?
Father, don't stand there like a stick.
Well, really, my dear, I think I've done my part. You'll excuse me.
please. If you were my father, you wouldn't want me meeting strange men in the park without a chaperone, would you? Even the Queen of Sheba must use discretion. And wasn't father a sport to act this part so nicely? And just think, I planned the whole thing to be most exciting. And it was exciting, wasn't it?
Oh, my!
You little devil, I could strangle you.
Sheep!
No, father, he kissed me!
Serves you right. Dinner with us, and maybe he'll kiss you again. Mr. Smith, will you accept an invitation to dinner at the Smith residence with Miss Smith and myself?
I'd be delighted, Mr. Smith.
Very good.
Miss Smith, will you take my arm?
Oh, heck, now see here.
Aren't you taking rather a chance? You don't know a thing about me.
My boy, I know enough about you to write your biography. I've known your father, J. Rodney Smith. Oh, wait, what is it? 20 years now. Seen you on the golf course with him many a time. And even if I hadn't, I've known you. You're a dead ringer for your dad.
We'll all be.
Yes, we'll all be. Late for dinner. And I want to get home in time to mix the cocktails. Mr. Smith, I do hope you drink.
Of course, all the Smiths do.